What's up? I'm Drew Paul Bell, and in this video we have a question from our friend Jamila. And she's pretty sure she wants to major in architecture. She's a junior in high school, and she's curious if certain architecture schools offer architectural designs that are more focused on design than, say, math. And I did a little bit of research into this, and I can't find like a list that says which schools are specifically oriented in which way, but yeah, there are. A lot of schools tend to be there are some schools who are focused more on, like, say, historic preservation, or some schools that are focused more on urban design and urban planning. The school that I went to was focused on architecture and construction management in a way. But like I said, I wish there was like a list that broke down which schools were good at what, and then you could pick based on that. As far as I can tell, I can't find that, but if I were you, what I would do is I would look at, one, narrow down universities to which kind of geographical region you think you can go to school in. A lot of times, like, for example, my home state was Georgia, so I basically had to choose between Georgia schools because that would get me in-state tuition. Maybe that's a limitation for you, maybe it's not. Maybe you can afford to go anywhere in the United States or in the world, and then that's not going to be how you limit down your opportunities. Maybe then go look at, like, what are the best universities to go to. Anyway, get like a short list, and then from that short list, call up those schools and find out what those specifications are. A good way to determine how one architecture school is leaning would be to look at the college that it's in. Right? In America, I'd typically just say, oh yeah, college is college, right? I'd call universities colleges. But the college is actually like a smaller group of departments within the broader university, right? So that college sometimes has a name to it. The name of that college can usually tell you more about the architecture department that's within it. So, for example, where I went to school in Southern Polytechnic State University, the architecture department was within the College of Architecture and Construction Management. So, theoretically, we were more oriented towards building construction and the constructability of buildings. We were a little bit more practically based, while still learning about architectural theory and all that as well. We learned about it all, but one could say that we were probably leaning a little bit more towards building construction. Maybe you go and you look at a particular university, in the College of Architecture. It might be the College of Architecture and Urban Planning, in which case it's going to be more leaning towards urban design. Maybe College of Architecture and Graphic Arts, Art and Graphic Arts, or Art and Design. That's going to be more leaning towards design. Now, this isn't always going to help because some architecture colleges are the College of Architecture, and that's it. But if you're curious about those in particular, go call up those schools and see them case by case. Call up those schools and see if you can get an indication from them, from the admissions office or from the secretary at the architecture department or wherever. Ask if they have a particular specialty, and they'll be glad to brag about what they're good at. Figure out what that is, and then make your decision based off of that if you want to be more of an urban design type architect, or interior design, or more of a theory-based college, or more of a practical building construction type of college. So the second part of your question is saying, is architecture school a normal college experience? Like, will there still be nightlife and a general social life? This is, all right, so the idea of like the general college experience, I think, is unique from each person to each person. I'm not sure what that means to you. If that means like going out and partying, going to tons of frat parties every other night, then no, I don't think you're going to be able to do that in architecture school. I just don't think it's sustainable. And I can think of some people in my university who pulled off some semblance of balance with that. Like, I know some people who, they were a year younger than me, and I feel like they partied a lot, but it wasn't too much, and they still did really good work. Okay, so it's possible. I don't want to say, no, you definitely can't have a social life, because there are people that do that. And my own experience is also colored by my own university, right? The school that I went to was largely a large male population of only a few females, a bunch of nerds who just play video games, and there wasn't a lot of partying going on. So I didn't even have that as an option for a large part of my school. Now, that being said, having gotten through school, I'm making up for that now, and I'm having a lot of fun here in the nightlife of Atlanta, and I'm able to kind of compensate for those years that I feel like I quote unquote wasted. I think that everything for me worked out in the end, and I know that this is hard to hear if you're like a junior in high school and about to go to college and you think it's going to be a party all the time. It's hard to hear that, oh yeah, just hunker down for 5 years and then get out, and then you can like have an awesome lifestyle after that, you probably don't want to hear that. But that's been the truth for me, and that's just been the way that it's gone. It's not like that Asher Roth song where it's like, oh yeah, I love college, and you're just drinking beer all the time and having dollar pizzas. I just don't think that's sustainable. It's not going to happen with architecture. It just requires a lot more work than that. As I've said in some of my other videos, though, a lot of times it comes down to your social life ends up being within your own architecture school, right? Within studio, your social life adapts for your lifestyle. Don't necessarily think that you're going to be able to cram in a bunch of partying and nightlife into an architectural degree. Now, like I said before, though, even that, what your definition of like what's partying, what's enough partying, right? Maybe for you that just means going out like once a month. Maybe that's like, maybe you need to go out at least once a week, right? Or like once every other day, right? I don't know what that is for you, so it's hard to answer this question. But generally, I would not go into architecture school thinking that you're gonna have a lot of parties and a lot of fun and a lot of just like social nightlife drinking situations. It's gonna be a lot of work. You might find times for that here and there, and I advise that you do. You gotta find a balance. But don't go into this thinking it's going to be like that song by Asher Roth or like what you see in the movies where it's just parties all the time everywhere. It's not that. So that being said, I hope this helps. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.